This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Welcome, Cinephiles and Cenobites. This is episode 3 of season 3. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Annika P. Today on the show, our guest is Kirsten Wight. That's W-I-G-H-T, an actress based in Canada. She has starred in a couple horror shorts, Mercy and the more recent, The Woodsmen. Both are available to stream online on YouTube and Vimeo. Check out show notes for links and on the website, nekkomedia.com. That's N-E-K-K-O media.com. You can also do a search for 5-year plan film. We touch base on both short films. Kirsten gives some insight on her characters. We talk current and future work and discuss her current favorite films of all time. Also, we talk whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. You want to get in on this conversation. And be sure to stick around after the interview. We review her latest short film, The Woodsmen. Here's our conversation with Kirsten Wight.
Welcome to this new episode. Today we have a guest on the show, Kirsten Wight. Thank you for being on the show, Kirsten.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit on your background in film and how it got all started.
Sure, yeah. So my name's Kirsten. I'm from Canada, and my background in film really only started, I guess it's been about 4 years ago now. My husband is a director of photography, and he was doing a project with a couple of our friends, and they were completing their first short, and they didn't have someone in the lead role yet, and they asked me to come in and read, and I was like, no way, this is going to be awful. I'd never even thought about acting before. And actually my husband didn't have very high hopes either. He was like, sure, bring her in.
Oh man.
Yeah. So but I
like,
went in.
Can you do me a favor? It's going to go bad, but they're just egging me on.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a vibe going into this. So anyways, I read and I ended up getting the part. And throughout that first film, which was titled Mercy, we all ended up really working well together, and I fell in love with acting. And so from then, I've done a couple of things, and the newest one, which is The Woodsmen, which is the same team behind Mercy. So I've kind of just really started focusing on trying to get more parts and branching out into different types of acting. So I'm doing a play that's coming in the fall too as well. So I'm really starting to love it, and I'm glad that I'm able to have these opportunities with super creative people and make things like Mercy and The Woodsman, which I think have been received really well.
Both shorts are really great. Really enjoyed all that work on that. Yeah. The Woodsman. Yeah, let's talk about that for now.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, why don't you give us a synopsis of The Woodsman first, please?
Sure, yeah. So The Woodsman is a short film, and you open up to a scene where you see people are in a search party, and you quickly realize that people have gone missing, and you're not really sure what's going on, and you quickly see that not everything is as it seems, and there's something lurking in the forest that is very scary, and there's ulterior motives from some of the different characters too as well. So yeah,
in a nutshell.
Yeah. Without giving too much away.
For sure. Okay. Let the questions roll, Mox.
Actually, I do want to talk about the spoilers later, so Ono, you'll have to cut it.
Oh, well, how about we say spoilers ahead? Go watch the movie now. Hit pause and go watch it now.
Well, I feel like the spoiler I want to talk about is kind of the crux, like the film revolves around that twist. So,
okay.
What the fuck? It was like, I feel like the ending was like a succession, or maybe not twist of a succession of twists, but it kind of kept going deeper. Like, first, the fucking park ranger lady who's been giving poor Sherman attitude the whole time.
Oh, poor Sherman.
She like blows his ass
I know,
away.
you feel so bad for him.
I do. I would have liked to know more about Sherman, but also kind of about your character, and I guess I want to say the husband. I felt like I was just getting to know you guys, and then murder, and it's such a vicious, like the fucking Bigfoot. He's like really just man pummeling you guys. You know.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was intense.
I know, it was brutal.
Like, what the hell is his problem? Like, it's so personal.
Like, poor guy.
It's like,
he's got a vendetta.
Yeah.
He was so mad.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, getting back to the twist, like, okay, so I feel like there weren't only 3, even though we saw 3. Like, I'm just taking it to assume there's like a community of these Sasquatch.
Right. Yeah. The idea was that there's definitely not only 3. There's more out there, and there's a whole community, and you're not really sure where they're coming from or what they're all involved with in the town, and whether it's the same one that keeps, like, you know, having people disappear, or if it's a different one. And and it's a new twist, I think, on the Bigfoot story that you've never seen before, because you're always just looking for that one Bigfoot. And what if there is more than one? Who knows?
I feel there was that kind of theme to where maybe like we're invading their space, in the sense like we think we're going on like casual walk or whatever, but like we're literally walking through their fucking house and shit, and then putting up posters like, what happened to our people? But it's like, you know, hello,
you're coming into mine.
Let's see. I got a question too with regards to, I guess, I don't know if it's supposed to be an epilogue. Like it's where the 4 kids are like getting ready to, I guess, go on that hunt. Was that supposed to take place before the events? Because you show up in that shot, right?
Right. Yeah. And so that's a question that we've gotten a lot. When we had the original screener for it, that was the most question we had, of people coming up and saying, what does that mean? Is she not really dead? And so we've had a couple of main theories, and we haven't said a whole lot, just because it might, if we ever get to do another episode or a series of episodes, that'll be answered. So we kind of just left it up to what your theory is. And there's 2 main ones that I really like that I won't say, but that keep coming up, and probably what you've thought of as well. But so we're kind of just keeping it open. And that was the whole point, is to keep the story open, because I think without that scene in there, it becomes very final. So yeah, you have that sense of mystery.
Nice. Okay, so there's a possibility of more shorts.
Hopefully.
Nice. So how's the reception been since the release of the movie or the short?
It's been great. We had an initial kind of opening screening night where we live locally. We're based out of Belleville, Ontario, which if anyone is listening from Canada, that's about 2 hours east of Toronto. And we packed the theater there, which was great, and people loved it. We're still just mind blown, because you put so much work into something, and you're just like, what if people think it's shit and no one wants to watch it? So
right.
Yeah.
Nice. I do really like the practicality of it.
With the effects.
Yeah, for sure. Very organic, and it just kept it
not a CG monster.
Yeah.
I fucking hate CG monsters.
Yeah. And it is kind of, it's funny, like, just a factoid, if you didn't know, but our director Victor Cooper was the one who was in the Bigfoot suit.
Oh, nice.
Is he really that big? He looks like 8 feet.
Yeah, like he's a tall guy. He's probably and I won't, maybe like 6'2", 6'3", and then in the suit the head adds like maybe another 4 inches, and there's another 2 or 3 inches in the feet. So he's like, I remember the first time he put on the suit, and when we were filming it, he wouldn't let us see it. So when he came out for the first time for that, when you see it, that initial scare, the first time you see it, we, most of the cast and crew hadn't seen him in the Bigfoot suit. So it was terrifying, because he's standing there over 7 foot, like just menacing. And yeah, it was so scary.
Nice.
That dude's big as a tree and shit. And then he's just like, actually didn't say anything. I was waiting for him to be like, get the fuck out of my woods or something. But
he speaks English.
Seething with rage. Another thing I liked was that campfire scene with the old dude. I feel like I missed a bunch of his exposition, but what came across is that like he's hunting them, and like, you fucking guys are getting in the middle of my trap, and then while he's going off on his rant, oh my god, the thing shows up, and he's just like so surprised he can't react.
Yeah. Well, and that's my favorite scene, is like the pre kind of big climax of the film, which is the campfire scene. And 1, I just love it because I think it looks so amazing the way it's shot. And 2, I think because at that point, if you don't really know anything about the movie, this guy might be the danger. So they might have stumbled upon this guy who they think at that point, like Maddie especially, thinks that he is going to kill her. And then you have something completely else come out that is the real danger and catches everyone in that scene off guard, I think. And I loved the interactions between me and Paul, who plays him, and then Garrett, who plays the other character too as well. Like, I think we all just had a really nice back and forth in that scene. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, it does. It's very visually stunning. And then, yeah, the fucking creature shows up and like, damn.
Yeah, we wanted that point to be like a big, like, holy shit, this is a real Bigfoot. Like, it's not a corny Bigfoot. And we blocked that scene for almost a full day, making sure that we got those actions right because we wanted it to be super realistic.
Oh, nice. How long was the shoot for this?
This shoot was, I think in the end, it took about 7 full, like, over 12-hour days. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was an insane shoot. You see, like, we shot it all outside.
Yeah.
And it was shot in the beginning of October. So
oh wow,
where we are, it's pretty chilly. Like, it was at night, it would go down to like 5 degrees Celsius, which I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold.
That is cold.
Cold,
yeah, that's
cold as shit.
yeah, exactly.
Jesus, Canada.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's October, right?
Yeah, and it was long, and we had a couple days where it rained, so then we couldn't shoot when it was rainy, and then also just like continuity issues. We didn't want to have to deal with trying to patch all that in. So yeah, it was a marathon of a shoot, but I mean, the whole time you're like, but we really want to be doing anything else? Not really. So.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
You know who I like? Okay, the way how also I felt it was framed is that while we're seeing what happens with your story, there's also these other groups that are also in the woods at the same time. Like, that one girl who seems to, like, the only one who knows Sherman's actual name. Like, I kind of wondered what the fuck happened to her. Like, I was kind of concerned.
Yeah, she did. No, I'm just kidding.
She's gone.
No, yeah. No, and I think that's, we keep getting all these questions about, like, oh, we love these characters so much, and we want to know what the relationships are between all of them, because there's, and that's the nice thing is when this story was being written, and Victor and Jody could probably speak to this a little better, but it was written with the idea of having their entire backstory in their head. So when you're watching it, you can kind of think about how that town would look like and feel like with all of these people having completely other issues outside of there's a Bigfoot roaming around in their town and killing people. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got enough characters in here to make a whole web series, different storylines.
Oh, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did the Kickstarter campaign go?
It was good. Yeah, we launched that. What it would have been last summer, so probably around this time we would have been like just finishing up. And actually, a lot of the money came from our local community, from people that we know in our area that just backed us because they were really excited about the project. And then we had a couple people come on. We set it as like an executive producer at a certain amount of money. So we had some people come on. I think one was from China, and then another one was from LA, who we didn't even know, like we had never met them before, but they had just seen the extended concept trailer. So yeah, we were super excited, and you never know what you're going to get when you get with Kickstarter. And I know with that, if you don't reach your goal, then you don't get any of it. So it was kind of a big risk. Yeah, like it was an all or nothing. So we were super happy that we were able to be able to make it at the end and have a nice backing of followers and fans that followed us throughout the process too, as well, from that initial Kickstarter phase.
Now, how long was the campaign and what was the goal?
The campaign ran for, I believe, a month. I'm just trying to rack my brain because it was a year ago. I think it ran for a month, and the goal was 14,000, but we ended up getting more than our goal, around 16,000.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the film looks beautiful. Do you guys always work with the red?
Yeah, my husband who shot it works primarily with the red in his regular job, and then anything he shoots film-wise, he works with that too as well. So yeah, and it was shot in 8K too as well because we wanted that super crispness, and that's probably not the technical word, and he's probably upstairs like cringing when we talk about the
8K?
camera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm guessing that's
Does look
more
does
crisp
look
than
beautiful.
4K. That's got to be up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It's like the
Woo.
next level up. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Damn, I can only imagine how big a file that is. I have no room for that on
Oh
my
yeah.
computer.
Huge.
Oh wow. Can I ask a little bit about Mercy?
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
it seems like none of these people are depressed. Like I know your character, like you kind of give like your character is giving these reasons, like, well, not really like to justify killing them for them, right? Or
They
killing these
wanted
people
it.
for yeah, like they really wanted it and deserved it. Like there's this one scene where
Oh, we get into weird territory there.
yeah, like she you mentioned this character is the Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
She hates her life, she hates her boyfriend, she hates her job, yet like she's cooking dinner and having like the best time like doing it.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
it is so
But through
funny.
her eyes.
yeah, but in your
Yeah.
eyes, she wants out like right away.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
oh,
I think it would just be any small excuse of like a tiny post on some website would be enough to be like, yep, that's my next victim, and
mm,
there's enough I need to know.
right, because yeah, your character is actually looking out for like I guess potential air quotes victims, right? Or um
Yeah.
depressed
Yeah.
people. Okay. Well, spoilers again, sorry. There's quite a few. But and then so like the man in the hat, right?
Right.
And that's Victor Cooper, right? I think that was in the credits.
Yeah. So again, it's kind of funny. Like he just has these roles that are like hiding behind something that in his films that I think is kind of cool. It's like a little tidbit. He's the Bigfoot and he's the man in the hat.
Okay. So my question is so your character is trying to show mercy to these other people by killing them. Is she herself in a depressive state like enough to do this?
Yeah, I thought about that while making the movie. Like, what is her internal dialogue and what she's feeling while she's doing this, and how can she be able to kill someone, but then also have kind of feelings towards these people? And at the end, you see her morality a little bit show through, and you're not really sure if she's good or if she's bad. And yeah, I don't think she's a happy person. That's for sure. I think she struggles with things that everyone struggles with, but yeah, there's definitely a sense that she can relate to these victims on that level, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because then at the end, right, Mox, I don't know if you want to cover your ears,
Why
but
are you gonna spoil it?
yeah,
Let me hit the mute thing.
hit the mute button. No, it's cool. But
That just mutes me. Okay, no, go for it. Go for it.
because I'm guessing I don't know if is she on the trail for this man in the hat? Because she leaves like I don't know if those are supposed to be like breadcrumbs in a sense, like her
Yeah.
her paintings at, after each victim, and then it's like she wants, I guess, I don't know if she's doing all of this so that someone else can offer at the end. Is that what
Yeah.
it was going for?
Yeah, I think, and that's another question that we got when we showed this movie too, is did she know he was coming, or did she, and it was just something that she knew was happening, or did she plan it so that she had maybe hired him or planned to have him come at the end? And I don't think any of us have really made any definitive answers on that, but I like to think that obviously she definitely knew he was coming, and it was that sense of relief that this is over and I don't have to do this anymore, and I'm letting someone else take this out of my hands, kind of.
Oh, wow, interesting.
That's my theory. It's not probably Victor and Jody have a different theory, but
She said it here first. That's the answer.
yeah.
Okay, right on. Yeah, it's a really good short, and you pack so much, or the Victor and Jody pack so much within that 20 minutes of just
Yeah.
of film, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
very enjoyable for sure.
Thank you.
when you like, since you know the writers and directors, and they definitely, I guess, have a vision of the character, how much of that do you take into account when you try to make the character your own?
Yeah, I take a lot of it into account, and especially like Victor and Jody are some of our best friends. Out of doing all this too as well, so we have a lot of conversations about who the character is and what her motivations are, and especially when we're doing Mercy, because that was my first film that I had ever done. I remember sitting down with Victor, who directed, and just kind of talked to him about what she would be like, and how she would act around people. And then when we did the Woodsman, he kind of just left it up to me a little bit more. So he said, just think about her backstory, who her friends were, where she lived, and shape the character to how you think she would be. So I had a little bit more control about how I thought Maddie would be, and just out of experience and being comfortable with being able to create that character. So yeah, there's a lot of conversations about on both ends about what we think these characters should look like, and taking time to actually figure that out.
Do you think she just kind of felt sorry for Sherman?
I think, yeah, I think like she knows that he has a crush on her, and she feels sorry for him, and she isn't malicious in any way. It's just he's not quite on her radar as she is to him. So it's like she thinks him as a friend, but it's not. Yeah, she feels bad for him, but not is ever thinking of him as being her boyfriend or anything.
Right, right. I guess he would kind of be the protagonist, sort of. Maybe you guys were dual protagonists in The Woodsman.
Yeah, yeah, and well, I think there was 6 of us in total who were, I think, kind of all equally drivers of the story, because we all had different motives to play, and different endings. So yeah, it was I kind of found it a little equal between all of us about, you know, what happened at the end and all the demises.
So do you guys and Victor, the next project, are you guys trying to expand further The Woodsman, or you got like another short?
Yeah, we're kind of 2 things on the go right now. So we're definitely trying to expand The Woodsman into a series, and the hard part of that is just finding money to do that. So we're thinking about different avenues and ways that we can make that happen. And then they also have another feature-length script, which is outside of this universe. It's a completely different story, horror too as well. But so we're hoping that we could get that made too, because it'd be our first feature. So it'd be exciting to follow that through.
Nice. How's the film community in your town?
It's good. It's growing. It's not huge. Like I said before, we're about 2 hours east of Toronto, and Toronto has a massive television and film boom going on right now. A lot of films that are or productions in the States come up to Toronto because there's a bunch of places that look like Detroit or New York or anything like that. But locally, we have a couple of production houses, which my husband and Victor work at one, and then there's some other up and coming filmmakers. And yeah, it's growing for sure. And I like to think that we've had a little bit of a help in bringing some filmmaking to this region.
Nice, yeah. Well, because let me tell you, 2 hour drive is like a really long time in Hawaii. Like that's not like
I know it.
going to
Yeah,
work.
it's funny whenever I go anywhere else and I say like, oh yeah, because I've gone to auditions and I've driven the 2 hours, done a 10-minute audition, and then drove right back. And to me, that's nothing, because in Canada, it's not like everything's so far away, so you just get used to it.
Oh my God. For 10 minutes? That's like 2 hours. Okay, so you're doing a theater work right now as a side gig?
I actually just got back from rehearsals maybe about 2 hours ago now. So I'm rehearsing all through the summer, and then it'll be at the end of October. And it's just a smaller play like in our town where we are. But I wanted to do something different because I've only done film so far, and I feel like it'd be a good experience.
Oh, that's cool. So how do you like it so far? Yeah.
It's really good. I like it because it allows me to, like right now I'm having rehearsals 3 times a week. So I'm able to go in and act 3 times a week, which is pretty rare if you're just doing film work, because usually you're auditioning a couple times a week, but that's maybe only like a minute self-tape or a minute audition. And then you have a big span in between projects if you're lucky. If
Yeah.
not, then you have, maybe one every couple of months or couple of years. So yeah, I'm lucky that I'm able to go and, dedicate 6 hours a week just acting
Yeah.
and working on my craft.
Nice, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't imagine just doing that in front of an audience. That I couldn't do
Oh
it.
yeah. I'm terrified because it's always like when film you get to say, "Oh, that was crap. Let's do that again."
Yeah, right, right. Do
You
over.
don't get to do that. Yeah.
Oh wow. I know I sent you that question for top 6 films of all time.
Yes.
You've been working on that? No.
I thought about it and
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
It
really
is. It is.
and it changes so much. Like I feel like right now all the movies that I thought about are fairly newer movies and then it'll change in a month from now, but yeah,
Sure.
it's hard.
Okay. How about
What about the favorite Canadian horror?
Oh, okay. So I will say there's a movie and
Ginger Snaps.
no, it's not Ginger Snaps.
Stop.
That's like my favorite
You stop
werewolf
it.
movie.
So it's called Backcountry. Have you seen it?
Back.
I did. Is that the one with the bear?
Yes, it's so good.
What the fuck? Again, that bear was so angry.
Yeah, so that's a Canadian, and so that was filmed in Ontario, but pretty far away from where we live. And it was we watched this movie, and when we had a feature length film for the Woodsmen, we actually kind of took a lot of like the tone and the vibe of what we wanted that from after watching Backcountry, because we're like, this is so good, and again the shots of the forest were like, oh my god. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Bad Country.
Actually, yeah, there's even that red herring of the guy they run into, right? Eric, fucking.
Yeah,
Balfour,
like the creepy guy who was just being
who
weird.
turns out at the end he's like, everybody help her! Oh my god!
Yeah.
But fucking yeah, I hated the guy in that movie, like literally.
Oh,
I mean-
I know. When we watched it, like me and my husband were like, this guy is such a jerk.
Like, of course she doesn't want to marry you, dude. Look what the fuck you just got them into.
I know, and it's also funny because this came out. I think it came out a couple years ago, like before The Revenant came out, and when everyone was freaking out about the bear scene in The Revenant, and I was like, okay, you've obviously never seen Backcountry because that was way worse than Revenant.
It was, because it feels like, oh fuck, it's like legit, and this guy has no skills versus The Revenant. I mean, it's DiCaprio. We know that dude got skills. Like this asshole just gets fucking fucked up.
I know, and I remember like the face ripping off, and the worst part is like when we were watching this movie, and we've gone camping tons of times, and it looks like every single place you've gone camping in Ontario, and you're like, this could have been me. We could have gotten mauled by bears.
Oh.
Shit. Now, I know it's filmed in Canada, but is it also set in Canada?
Yeah, it's a true story, actually, based on a true story, I should say.
Oh wow.
So it was, and I don't remember the exact provincial park, but it happened in a Canadian provincial park.
Shit. Fucking lost in Canada. But oh no, this is the guy who did Pyewacket.
Oh.
Another Canadian-ish horror.
Oh, same guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Canada actually definitely has a horror fingerprint.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good horror coming out of Canada right now, and it's definitely getting a revival. So yeah, we're hoping that we can keep being a part of that.
Nice. I know. Definitely a revival, because like the movie that jumps out at me was like fucking 20 years ago almost. Fucking
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, do you feel ready to talk about your top 6 films that will probably change later, you said?
I think so. I think I've got a tentative list.
Nice.
So the first one I'm going to say, and this is just because I am obsessed, but I'm going to lump all of the Harry Potter movies into one.
Okay.
I love Harry Potter.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice.
You know, I've never finished that epic. I didn't see the Deathly Hallows part 2.
My God.
Yeah, I didn't see the
It's
part 2.
like- Yeah, obviously the books are way better, and I reread the entire series probably once every 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm just like, I love Harry Potter, so I'll put that one out there. And the The next one up, actually, I love the movie Drive, which is the one that Ryan Gosling was
Fuck
in.
yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Damn, still didn't see that one.
Real human being and a
soundtrack.
real hero. Fuck yeah.
Soundtrack
I'm
was
like
so
obsessed
good.
with that movie too.
Yeah, it was just like everything about that movie was perfect. I saw it and I probably watched it 6 more times in the same month after I watched it.
Wait,
I
what's
know.
he's
And
like
I
a
love that group, The College.
oh
That
Yeah.
fucking soundtrack is so awesome.
So good.
well,
And then he did Only God Judges, which was like, fuck you to fans of mainstream. Like, what the fuck is that movie about?
I don't know if I've seen that one. Is that the one where he has the bleach hair?
Yeah. And he's
Okay,
like,
yeah.
some reason doing pit fighting.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't really into that movie. Well, I'll stay on the Ryan Gosling vein because he did another movie called Blue Valentine that I love. It's like I don't even know what genre. Like, if you watch the trailer, it seems like a romance, but then it's completely not at all.
It is one of the most depressing films I've ever seen. Also,
But
it
it-
reminds me of an ex, so I kind of hate that movie. That was like her movie.
Understandable. Yeah.
Watch this movie. I mean, I like how they frame it. You know, it's the relationship at different points in time.
hmm And it's just nice to see something like a realistic relationship. I like
Wow.
that.
So was that
Yeah.
filmed like non-linearly? Like
Yeah.
it hops?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it goes
Interesting.
back and forth. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
good. And then another newer one that I really really like, and I actually just watched again super recently, was Prisoners. Love that movie. And that's the one with
That's dark as fuck for me. But that's also what is his name? Sicario and The Arrival.
yes, Dennis.
Yeah.
It's a French
Denis
name,
Villeneuve,
and I'm not
yes.
even gonna. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
Canadian too as well, so I don't want to try and like pronounce it and then just get butchered.
Well, Prisoners?
Yeah, that dude has been blowing up. Yeah. Oh man. Well, you know, I love the fucking bad guy. God, what is his name? Fucking he's the milkshake
Oh,
dude from
and he
Right?
was in yeah, and he was
Sunshine.
in
Little
yes,
Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine. Yeah, he's such a very underrated
Paul,
actor. I think.
he is, and fucking that one with Harry Potter where he's like a dead guy.
Oh, I
island?
haven't seen that movie yet, but I want to watch
Oh,
it.
man, that movie is so good. You should. It's on Prime. What the fuck?
Okay.
Paul
Dano.
Yeah.
Dano.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
really
he-
good in that
He
movie.
was. Yeah, hell yeah. Also, too, wasn't Wolverine? I feel like Wolverine was in that movie. Prisoner.
Yeah, it was
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman and then Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh wow,
Nice.
nice cast.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, it's very dark.
Is it?
super
Wow.
dark. Yeah.
Like the ending, the whole theme of it is just dark as fuck.
Wow.
But-
Kind of reminds me a
like-
little bit of The Vanishing in a sense.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Another
Yeah.
dark movie. Damn it, Europeans. So dark. Gotta
Vanishing.
give us the American ending. Like, I'm leaving the theater like, wow. Existentialism. Oh. Life is heavy.
Denise
Nice choice,
Villeneuve.
though. Shit.
Wow.
Nice,
Okay,
nice,
I'm gonna have
nice
to check
choice.
that out.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
No.
He did Arrival, and what was the other one you said?
Sicario.
Sicario.
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
We won't talk about the second one. What the hell?
I haven't seen that one yet either.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one struggles to find a tone. Anyway,
Oh.
your number 2, please.
Oh, I didn't do these in order,
Oh, that's fine.
so maybe
Oh.
that. Okay, but I'll take maybe a lighter tone now,
Okay.
and I really like. And again, have watched it probably a million times, but I love the movie Juno.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Surprising choice, but I love that movie. I think it's such a good movie to watch. I mean, it's heavy in some parts, but it's just a nice light movie.
Jason.
Kind of, yeah.
Reitman?
It's a nice treatment of the teenage pregnancy. I never really got behind that movie. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was great. Just it didn't resonate for me. But I mean, it's obviously dope.
And it was and now I'm forgetting his name. A different sort of work for oh crap.
Jason
What's
Bateman.
Sarah?
his name?
Michael Cera.
No, Michael Cera.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's Canadian too, right?
He is Canadian, yeah.
Everybody big now is Canadian.
I
Even
know.
Deadpool is Canadian. The
right?
most quintessential American character is Canadian.
Yeah, and we own Deadpool. Like he was like put it
Oh,
all over Deadpool that he's Canadian.
nice. Oh wow. Are you a Arrested Development fan?
I do like, but I haven't watched it in so long. So I
Mm.
haven't watched some of the newer seasons, but I watched it probably like the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. The
That's
season
kind of when
5.
it's at its best, I feel.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Netflix bought it, I don't know.
Um.
Thanks a lot, Netflix.
Well, there's such a huge gap in between seasons. You know, it's like maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it seems like that was his kind of fu to like maybe Fox. But I mean, don't
Maybe.
drag Netflix into this. You know? Don't do it.
They ruin everything, I feel like. Anytime I see Netflix original, I'm like, oh, great. This.
I will say a Netflix original. Sorry, my dog's barking. Molly, no. Netflix original TV shows are good. Haven't gotten the handle on their movies yet.
They really haven't.
No.
Like, what the hell? Ugh.
Although I'll tell you, is it Father of the Year with David Spade? That's like the newest
Yeah.
one. That is
I am-
so funny. Like
Really?
I cracked up so much.
I won't even watch it. I mean, David Spade plus Netflix original.
But
equals-
it's a Happy Madison production.
I hate Happy Madison, especially the Netflix shit.
Even like the original Happy Madison movies though.
No, I love Happy Madison of the 90s.
That's-
Everything after
Yeah.
that has been lazy.
Like
Oh.
Happy Gilmore was a good movie.
Fuck
Oh.
yeah, that's still my favorite.
That's a classic,
Adam
yes.
Sandler, other than Punch Drunk Love. That was just him
Yeah.
at his best before all his fucking shit got kind of tired. Like I feel he did the same thing every
Well,
movie.
I love Blenderhead, or is it Blender? Is it Blender?
I think Blended. is
Blended,
maybe
yes.
the Africa one.
Yeah.
That one was good. That one was.
That
good.
one was
And the
good.
I
Wedding
didn't. Yeah, I
Singer.
didn't mind that one.
And-
I do like The Wedding Singer too.
Oh, okay, yes. You can't forget that. That was a good meatball. That's...
Oh yeah.
Julia
Happy
Gulia. Oh my
We
god.
want to love you again, Happy Madison. Come on, just give us some classics.
Well, you got to watch Father of the Year, then that will fill that gap or that hole
Are you
in
sure?
your heart.
I
Yeah.
feel like you're just
That's a
blinded
big
by your
claim.
90s glasses of love for Happy Madison.
But yeah, it's David Spade, so it's like he's
Shit, is he
he's driving
Canadian
the
too?
yeah he's the Father
David
of the Year.
Spade's Canadian?
I'm
No,
wondering.
no.
I don't know. I just feel like
No, he's
everybody
from-
20.
He's from Arizona. That's where he's from.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Arizona,
Ooh.
born and bred. Yeah. Oh. So we got Driven, Harry Potter series, Blue Valentine, Prisoners,
Prisoners,
and
Juno,
Juno. Okay, got it. Yes.
and
Okay, so
the number
Um,
one.
I'm missing. So, this is hard. Another newer one again, and I'm not sure if a lot of people have seen it, but it was like an Oscar. I put that in quotes, like Oscar movie a couple years ago. But have you seen Whiplash?
I
Oh.
did. I love that movie.
Yeah, that is
Exactly
like
how it feels to play drums. Anyway,
I just loved that movie. Like it was, and that was the first time I think I've ever seen anything with that main actor in it. I'm so bad with names today.
Miles Teller. I
Yes.
love Miles Teller.
He was so good in that movie, and
Fuck yeah.
I watched it, and after I came out of the theater, I was so motivated. I'm like, I'm gonna learn a new skill because this guy like just. It was such a good movie.
Although
So,
it's
yeah,
funny because I've heard that like from like teachers, like from a teacher's viewpoint, they're like, that's pushing it. That's pushing it.
A little too far.
Well, I mean, it's a dramatization, you know.
I
Like,
didn't
if
see
you
it,
just
but
watch an hour and a half of a music class, it wouldn't be as great, I'm
like
sure.
the teacher not
Yeah.
like going to town on his students.
It's
Although
like, are you late or are you early?
Yeah.
Smacks him. Are you late or are you early? Oh, so you can keep time.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
my God.
J.K. Simmons. He
Yes.
well, I think he won the Oscar for Best Supporting, and he was
He
so
did,
good in
he
that
did.
movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's terrifying, but also lovable. Like, and I feel if you have daddy issues, you'll totally resonate and relate to this movie. Like, you want to please this guy, but also you want to upstage this guy.
Yeah,
It's a really complicated dynamic.
yeah, so good.
Interesting. Was that supposed to be in Juilliard, the school in that movie?
No,
Oh.
no, no. It's
Okay.
another music conservatory that's just
Yeah.
for music.
I see.
Yeah, and I think it specialized in like jazz drumming too
Jazz
as well.
orchestra, yeah.
Yeah. hmm
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
jazz
great.
could get intense, I guess. Oh
Because
man,
it's jazz.
it's jazz.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a pretty good list.
Nice picks. Do you have any favorites, just random favorites of movies that are like over 30 years old?
Over 30 years old?
Yeah, like
Well, the first one that came to mind, and again, not allowed to make fun, but I love Christmas, so I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Really? Oh, nice.
And we
Who
watched
would
it.
make fun of that? That is such
I
a great
don't
movie.
know.
It's vanilla as hell, but I mean, who doesn't want to just love
It's-
movie and life? You know,
Yeah.
You
It's
leave
just a
that
good. Yeah. I watch it every
wholesome-
Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh, let me ask you: do you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh, God. So
How is that a thing? Because that's a thing now, right, on the internet. Like I totally.
it's a huge debate. And so Die Hard has a like kind of funny backstory. So when, for whatever reason, something happened in my childhood where I didn't watch any of the classic movies. Like I
Really?
didn't watch Star Wars. I didn't watch Jurassic Park. I didn't watch
What?
any. Yeah. So when I started dating my husband, he was mind blown that I've never seen any of those movies. And then when we met Victor and Jody, they were like, I don't even understand how you're alive. The last 5 years of my life have been spent just getting berated and like sitting down and watching all these movies. So about 3 Christmases ago, they sat me down and said, you have to watch Die Hard because you've never seen it before. So the consensus in our household is that it's a Christmas movie and we watched it at Christmas time.
Nice.
But I don't know. There's a big debate going on.
It is, yeah, it's set in Christmas, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh no, do you not consider it a Christmas movie?
I say, I want to say no,
Correct.
but I mean, there's got to be an action movie on Christmas. There has to be, and if it's gonna be it has to be Die Hard. If it's gonna be an action movie on Christmas,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that any movie's a Christmas movie if you really want it to be.
yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
my
just,
answer.
yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah, any movie on Christmas Day, yeah, that's fine. I always like to have throw in like a kung fu movie in there too. So,
On Christmas? Is
Yeah.
there a Kung Fu Christmas
well,
movie?
I know on
that's actual-
Thanksgiving I'll put on Ip Man. You know,
Really?
yeah. I
That,
mean,
that makes you like.
well,
grateful?
everyone's into
Oh,
it.
different.
Like, it's something it'll bring the whole family into the living room, and we'll just sit there and watch Ip Man.
Yeah, like that. I like traditions like that.
Yeah. And any martial arts, Jackie Chan movie, sure. Yeah, all the big ones. Oh wow, that's cool. Well, do you have any siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Oh, younger brother. Okay. I was gonna say
Mm.
it's usually the older siblings that'll tell you watch this, watch that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I haven't watched any of the older Star Wars, but I have recently watched the first Jurassic Park because my husband wouldn't take me to the theater to see the new one until I'd watched the old one.
They do move in herds.
And that
They
was
do move
definitely
in
the right move. Yes.
Yeah, I was happy that I had seen it when I watched the new one. Yeah.
Oh,
The movie
nice.
is
Yeah.
so magic.
Yeah.
What about like Terminator 2? Please tell me you saw that at least. So, like, that's another
Please.
I think I did. I don't know.
No.
Okay, well, you would
It's-
know if you saw.
Yeah,
Terminator
you would
2,
know
so
if you
that-
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how. Like, I honestly don't know how I got through without watching any of these movies. Like any of the any classic movie you can think of that is
Right.
typical that you'd watch and fall in love with when you're younger. I didn't watch it, and I don't know why. Like, no one.
Were you
showed
just
it to me.
rebelling against Hollywood? You're like, fuck Hollywood. I'm not watching that piece of shit.
Well-
or you
No,
just somehow missed it.
I think I just missed it. Like, I think I just didn't have a family that watched. Like, I don't remember sitting down and watching movies with my family. So maybe it was just, which like it's not like a sad. Like, we just didn't do it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It was very everyone.
What do you guys
thinks
talk
that-
about? Like politics, philosophy, that kind of religion.
No.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I think I was reading constantly. So I think I was just always in my reading.
Well, I can tell you this: Daniel Radcliffe had never seen
Okay.
any of the Star Wars movies until like just recently.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was an
See,
interview. He said his parents just wasn't into it, and I don't know if he has any siblings either. But
yeah.
that was
And I
his
remember
excuse.
asking my mom, and she was like, I don't like, and she's like, well, I've seen all of them, but I just never thought to show you. I'm like, what? Okay.
Oh, right on, right on. Oh, okay, well, that's sweet. Well, yeah, you can actually watch them and study them because
Exactly, yeah.
it's important.
Because I feel like it's a disgrace to be in movies and not having watched any of the classic movies.
Yeah,
The big
'cause
ones,
that'll
the
come
big
up
ones.
later. You know, the more famous you get, it's gonna come up, and then
Yeah.
the rating will be public.
No.
True. I don't want that to happen. And then I'll just at that point just pretend that I've watched.
Just a quick Google search. Let me just see. Let me read the back of the cover. The back of the book and just the quick summary, and I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cliff notes. Cliff notes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool though. Well, I'm glad that you are, or that they made you sit down and watch Die Hard, and you're catching up on the other movies, Jurassic Park, and you still have yet to see the original trilogy.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I'm sure it's coming though.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us. Is there any shout outs you want to give, or how can people contact you online? Unless you don't want to.
No, that's they can look me up on Instagram, which is just Kirsten_Wight, which it's kind of one of those names. So Kirsten is KIRSTEN _WIGHT. So it's kind of a nightmare, but yeah. And then if you want to see either The Woodsman or Mercy, which we talked about, you can just do a quick Google of 5-Year Plan, and they're all on our YouTube page, ready to watch and enjoy.
Cool. Well, thank you again, Kirsten, for your time. This was really a fun chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Have a good rest of your day. And
you too. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
No problem. It was great.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for sticking around. We have such sights to show you. We now will review the short film The Woodsman, currently streaming on the 5-Year Plan channel on YouTube.
All right, welcome to this new episode. Today we're going to be reviewing the short horror film The Woodsman.
The Woodsman.
Released earlier this year. The film is directed by Victor Cooper and Jodie Cooper and Rob Howsam, collaborating director. And
he's also the DP.
And the film was written by Cooper, the Coopers, Jodie and Victor.
Yep.
And the film stars, we have Kirsten Wight, Nick Ford. Well, he's one of the search party members. Well, it's kind of a large cast with maybe some significance to each member if they decide to expand on this story. But Ranger Lewis is Mackenzie Fisher, Gianpaolo Latanzio.
There's a name.
Yeah, that's the name. That's Herman, aka Sherman.
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay, so the Woodsman it's a short film. Something is wrong in Slender Valley. There's a slew of missing people, and so at the park, the Rangers have gathered a group of volunteers to go searching for these missing people. And on their search, they encounter some supernatural creatures. And without giving out too much, that's it in a nutshell. Without giving away any more spoilers than we have with our talk with Kirsten Wight. So, initial thoughts of The Woodsman, Mox.
The visuals are on point. You know, it's shot well with the red camera, and the scenery is just beautiful. There are a lot of sweeping aerial shots of this forest park.
Yes, there were. I wonder if they used a drone for that. Well, they probably had to use a drone for that. I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, with those aerial shots, yeah, they're very,
Right.
very nice, very nice.
And it really they play well into the scenery plays well into the setting and the tone. I felt like the tone wasn't as dark as you would expect of a horror movie, but it is kind of heavy. We know that people are missing, and we don't know from what, until the climax, basically. Overall, I like the movie.
Sure, yeah, it's very very organic, very very practical. I do like those kinds of movies because it's just well, it looks more real than
Right, right.
adding just a lot of special effects.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times they try and hide behind visual effects because lack of story, but this definitely wasn't the case. I really like the ending a lot, and then kind of the ending, which feels like a post-credit kind of scene, with the group in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
I do feel like it is deserving of a longer film or a series of films because of the scope of the idea.
sure, yes, because we dab in each of the volunteers in this group just a little bit, and some more significant than others.
Right.
But enough for you to stay engaged with the amount of time that you do have in this short film. And it does open up with it's a scene deserving of exposition because it kind of just
it tells us what kind of movie we're in, that some shit is happening. This is a fucking murder movie, not necessarily a creature, but you kind of assume because you don't see what pulls her off screen into the darkness, but you know that she's fucked up because she's straight fucking crawling for like 30, 40 seconds,
Sure.
And she's so badly fucked up that she can't make out even a scream. So I wonder if, internally she has her larynx crushed or something, but she's very fucked up. I got the sense that she's close to the ranger tower. Like if she were to scream, they could possibly hear her, but she's unable to, she's pulled into the darkness before that happens, and you're like, ooh, what the fuck took her? Fucking something bad.
Well, we hope we don't spoil it for anyone, but if you haven't seen it yet. But now that I think of it, you think Ranger Lewis has something to do with that particular death. And you already know something's up with her just because of her cold attitude.
She's so attitudinal. Yeah. But I mean, it can be explained because she's obviously the more seasoned ranger, and she is a not subservient, but she's lower on the totem pole than fucking Sherman. But the reason for that is because Sherman's dad is apparently the sheriff of the town, so he got that fucking hook up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem particularly qualified for that job.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, it's like Ranger Lewis hate the game, not the player. You don't like your job, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah. Right. The actress who plays Ranger Lewis was on point as that character. Like you see it in her eyes, in her body language. Like she just she doesn't care.
She's not feeling it.
Yeah, she's not feeling it. Get off my turf. And I like how you brought up that man, we can't give out too much away without spoiling it, but like how these people are, walking into these creatures.
Right.
These creatures.
Yeah, they definitely have that theme of kind of through the looking glass, who is actually doing a wrong kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because this woods is not just somebody's, it's not just a park. Like fucking people live there. Things live there. That's like their home.
You invading their turf, and they're like, this porridge is too hot.
And they're so mad. They are so mad. But I mean, think about it, right? Like fucking, you'd be mad too. People just traipsing willy-nilly through your fucking home and be like, who the fuck is you? And you just, you fucking setting up camp here?
Yeah.
Like, this is my place.
What was it? This chair is too big. This bed is too big.
But this one's just right.
Get out of here. Oh, okay. But I do like the open-endedness of the film. Now that we went over it with Kirsten, it does, you can throw in theories, and I do have a couple already. So I do hope that they expand it. The film is it's not as dark as you think it is, but it is heavy on
It is heavy, yeah.
on some scenes in there where it gets, it's not out of nowhere, but with regards to like couple death scenes in there. Spoiler.
So, yeah.
But yeah, do definitely check this film out. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for free. It's about 20 minutes long.
About 20 minutes.
Yeah. And a lot of story. It's shot beautifully and it looks crisp.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it does. It really looks crisp. Sometimes almost to the detriment, because we get to see so clearly, some of the mystery is removed. But the scenery is definitely, it feels like a character. It's so well shot and well placed.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. So The Woodsmen, go watch CC.
Go watch CC.
This has been a Nekko Media podcast broadcasting from the Blood Cave, part of the /tag Pollard family. For myself, Annika Pussyfoot, Mox, and Ono, keep the lights on and check under that bed, because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you.
We have candy.
Podcast.